guys. We are now on Building Black Business Podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Hayes, and I am with someone. How do I explain this woman? She is phenomenal and admirable. One of the sweetest people I've ever met. And some people may call her Miss Scipio or Miss Anita, but I call her Mama. And
Thank you.
We are here.
I'm so excited to be here with you.
Now, for people who don't know,
yes,
how would you describe now, author Miss Anita Scipio?
Yes, I am. Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I'm pretty awesome, and I'm very, very proud of myself for the hard work and everything that went into me being an author. It was not easy. It was a great challenge, but at the end of the day, I'm very proud of the product that I have made, and I hope it's something that's enjoyable for everybody.
And her product is Hip Hop Time Capsule. Document your personal journey.
Yes.
Now, what was the inspiration?
Okay, so on the 50th anniversary of hip hop, I was at Yankee Stadium. I was there with my family, my niece Denise, my daughter Arlene, my nephew Melvin, my nephew Kevin, and my son Misa.
Mm-hmm.
So we went and we had those up in the sky seats, those just happy to be here seats. And we were just so grateful. And as I looked around at the sea of people, I noticed people of all different ages, with their hip hop gear on. Some were my age, they were in their 60s, 40s, 30s, younger. I'm like, oh, wow. Each one of these people, I didn't think of it that night. It was only a few days later. I feel like I was inspired. I feel like God gave me this idea. Whereas I said, each one of those people have a story about their journey and their love of hip hop, what hip hop means to them in their everyday life. And so I started thinking, like, how can I help people document their story? Because it's very, very important, now with everything that's going on in hip hop. It's very important for people to know maybe what their mother loved when she was growing up, what their father used to listen to, their own journey as well. So I thought this was a good idea to document it.
Who was your favorite performance that happened?
Dougie Fresh.
Yeah.
Dougie Fresh tore it up. And that's a hard decision to make because everybody was awesome.
Yeah.
I saw some of my most favorite iconic artists, and it was very, very hard. But I have to say at the end, it was Dougie Fresh that took me out.
I can't believe he still knows how to do this.
He's as good as he's ever been, if not better. And he looks like he's just getting younger by the day.
No,
so
I had the privilege to meet him one time, way before I was even in this business. I was in Vegas at the MGM hotel, and he was I guess going back to his room or something like that. Everyone fanned around him. He was able to take a picture with him.
He's awesome. I never got a chance to meet him, but I would love to meet him.
I can't believe
he
hasn't come up here yet.
I know. Yeah. I hope he will. And when he does, make sure you call me.
I got you. Now, I have a question, though.
Yeah.
What did you wear? Because in the beginning of the book, you were talking about, which I really liked, how you said that hip-hop has to do with, fashion as well as expressing yourself. And you're saying that the hats that people used to wear is their African crown.
That's right.
So you had a hat on?
No, I didn't. I was up there looking like a grandma. I didn't have any hip hop gear on, okay? But my spirit was back again like when I was 25 years old.
So what was your go-to hat back then?
Actually, I never wore a hat.
Oh, okay.
I was never into the fashion part of it.
Right.
I didn't wear the sweatshirts or the big chains or any of that when I was younger.
Okay.
I used to mostly wear just wear maybe turtlenecks and stuff, or my thing was high heels. I always loved high heels.
Okay.
So I wasn't into the fashion of it, but the music and the culture, otherwise was just something I really, really love.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me see what else I got. So let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Well, first, I already know this, but for the people to know, who's your favorite rapper? Who's your top 3 favorite rapper?
My top 3 would have to be DMX.
Oh, I thought, okay. This in particular order?
No.
Okay.
I'm struggling now because I actually have a lot, and I really struggled answering these questions because we give 100 questions in the book.
Yes.
Prompt questions for people to answer. And as I was trying to answer the questions, it was really difficult to narrow it down. But I'm going to have to say, DMX.
Kendrick Lamar.
That's your journey. Even though I do love him. I do love him. I'm a fan. But I will say that it would have to be DMX, Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
And, oh gosh, I'm trying to think who that third one would be. Snoop Dogg.
It wouldn't be Tupac?
Tupac.
Yeah.
Tupac.
I thought you were going to say him first.
I'm drawing a blank. Tupac. Tupac would have to be first.
Okay.
Tupac, yeah.
So you spoke of Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing, I guess hip hop always been a mix with like politics as well. Right?
Right.
So how do you see hip hop going now? Do you like the combination of hip hop and politics, or do you think it should be, in a sense, separate?
Well, I kind of think that everybody has a right to their own opinions. I think everybody has the right to vote or promote their own best interests. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily have to agree with them. Okay. And sometimes I don't. But I try to keep that separate from the love of the person themselves. Right. You know?
You know how to separate the artist.
I know how to separate the artist and what they bring to hip hop from their own personal views.
Okay.
And I think that's the best way to do it. If not, really you go down a dark hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But so what would you say? Are you more of a rap girly or R&B girly though? Rap.
Definitely
sure?
rap. Oh, okay. Absolutely.
So what would...
I worked at Power 105.
Right.
Okay. I'm working for iHeart for 18 years. Mm-hmm. And then for 15 years of the Breakfast Club being there. That's all I listened to almost all day.
I remember, Mama.
Okay. I'll be up at the desk jamming. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I love rap music.
Yeah. So how would you describe the feeling it gives you then?
Oh, well, because there's so many different types of rap music. There's music that is uplifting. There's music that is political oriented and makes me feel strong and mm-hmm. powerful and knowing that there is a way out of some of the things that we're going through in the world. It just strengthens me,
Okay.
And then there are songs that it's just pure fun and entertainment. Yeah. And then songs that teach you about the history, about life itself. I love the storytelling aspect of hip hop.
Do you think, I think Kendrick's bringing it back, but do you think the storytelling was getting lost at a point?
I do.
Okay.
And I missed it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm old school. Mm-hmm. I love, having been there like from the beginning of hip hop.
Yeah.
And I love in some ways that it has evolved. Not all the ways,
okay.
But it has to evolve. Right.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm classic old school, I just love that good old music from back in the day. But I do have a lot of favorite artists of today as well. And so, I just love the whole journey that we're going through.
Because I was going to ask, what generation do you think has the best hip hop?
My generation.
And
you knew I was going to say that. You knew that.
Okay. So do you think there's anything from the older generation that I could take from the new generation now?
Something from the older generation. So something.
Like, do you think they can learn something from the new generation?
Oh, always.
Okay.
And the new generation can learn something from the
old.
Always.
So,
yeah. And so but that's what the book is all about.
Right.
Like learning the history. I think it's very important for young artists to learn who opened the doors for them.
No.
Who started this, who paved the way. Mm-hmm. And there are times when I felt that maybe some people are not that interested in knowing who set down the roadway, the pathway for them to do what they're doing today. And that's why I think Hip Hop Time Capsule is very important in that way. As a matter of fact, it aside from the 100 questions that it includes, I've incorporated first of all, this book is done in conjunction with my brother DJ Scipio. From South Carolina. Yes. So when I saw this whole event and I went back and I told him, I said, wow. I said, I need to come up with 100 questions. I said, listen, you're a DJ. You've been a DJ for over 40 years. Mm-hmm. He was born in New York City, but then he moved to Orangeburg, South Carolina. Okay. And he made a way for himself down there. Very popular, very well respected. So I said, listen, I love the music, but I don't know a lot about the history. Okay. Can you help me with some of the history of hip hop? And then I asked him to join me in deciding some of the questions for the book. So he was very, very helpful, and we worked together well, and that was awesome. So, but our goal was to try to help the young people understand about old school, and then old school learn about what our new artists are contributing, because both are important. Yeah. Both are important.
What do you think was the hardest part making this book?
The hardest part making this book was trying to narrow down some of the answers, okay? Yeah. Because my brother and I, we also answered the same questions, the same 100 prompt questions. That was very difficult to make decisions, you know, who's your favorite artist, who's your favorite producers, what is one hip-hop concert that you missed that you would have loved to have been through? When you were sad or you were down, what hip-hop songs resonated with you? You know, and all types of questions that make you stop and think, go back in time, have some good memories, you know. And then, like I said, we incorporated what I was going to say is we incorporated QR codes.
Yes, I see.
With that will give you direct access to some of the history of hip hop, videos where you can see old school dancing, you can see new school artists, music of the day, classic old hip hop music. It's just a fun book. Yeah. It's a hybrid book and a journal. So the journal part, you're documenting your story. I also include 50 trivia questions and answers, 50 quotes by some of the biggest legends in hip hop. Yes. That are timeless quotes that I don't care. They may have been from 30 years ago. Today, they're still going to resonate with you because they're positive and they're timeless. And 50 years from now, they'll still resonate with somebody because of their positivity.
Absolutely.
And that's very, very important. And today, especially in today's world, we need more positivity. We need more love. We need more good memories. It's a feel-good book. Yeah. You know? I mean, I hope everybody will feel the same way that me and DJ Scipio feel about it.
Yeah. What do you think? So what do you think was the easiest part of making it?
The easiest part was being driven by the love of it, being driven by the love, wanting to put out the best product, wanting to put out the most accurate product, doing so much research. And it was fun because it was a learning experience. My brother introduced me to some things that I didn't know, but independent of him, I did my own research. Another aspect of it is in me answering my questions, that the 100 questions. I was able to tell stories about my experiences with some of the biggest legends in hip hop, my personal experiences, having been the receptionist for iHeartMedia. Yeah. I had a personal relationship with these artists. Yeah. DMX used to call me auntie. Snoop Dogg calls me mama.
Will Smith.
Will Smith. Oh, my God. Will Smith. That video was everywhere. And I love him, and I love them all. And it's still, if you go to Google right now and put in Anita Scipio and Will Smith, you're going to see me having a fit, just being so happy to see him. Because I've been a receptionist actually for 30 years. So I used to work for Westwood One in my early days. And Westwood One, they would have artists of all genres. So I met Will Smith when he was just a young man getting into the business. He had just started being a rapper. Yeah. And he came in, and he was so awesome. It's the first rapper I ever met. I didn't know what to expect, but he was so awesome, so polite. And I said to myself, he's going to go places, you know? And that's the understatement of the year, right? And so then over 30 years later, when I'm retiring, my daughter, little one right here, told him, said, Mama's inside, Mama's, it's her retirement day. And he came in screaming, Mama, Mama. So it was our first time seeing each other after 30-something years in the business, and I was just so honored. I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one can make me hate Will Smith.
No. Can't happen.
Well, I took one of the questions and see if you could answer.
Oh, God.
You have in the book, if the lyrics in one of your favorite songs could come true for a day, which lyrics would it be? Do you have an answer for it?
No, I couldn't think of one. I couldn't think of a song where if the lyrics could come true for a day, what would it be? I just couldn't. I just drew a blank on that question. That's my own question.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What about if you were a rap song, what song would it be?
If I was a what?
A rap song.
If I was a rap song? Is that in the book?
Nope.
So did I miss that one? If I was a rap song, what would it be? Oh, man. That's a good one. I need to add that one. If I was a rap song, what would it be? I would say, I don't know, maybe Unity. Unity by Queen Latifah. Unity by Queen Latifah. Okay. I love the way she commands respect. Mm-hmm. I love the way, she just lets you know, look, I'm a queen. I need to be treated like a queen. Yeah. I like that attitude, Yeah. And you know what? Ladies today need more of an attitude like that.
Yeah. I think it's packaged differently now. It's all about sex appeal and everything now.
Yeah, and I mean that's okay. Sex appeal has its place. Mm-hmm. But dignity and respect for yourself, that has a place as well.
Yeah.
So a nice little combination of the two. You know?
Yeah. What do you think? Well, actually, now that you wrote a hip hop time capsule, are you gonna write an R&B? Because you like R&B as well.
I like R&B. Well, this is the thing. Thea Mitchum of iHeartMedia, the program director, she had advised me when I first started writing this book that I should also give in-depth, detailed stories about all of the artists that I have met, pictures included. Mm-hmm. So as I started doing this project, the project became overwhelming and it became just too much, a mishmash of things in one book. So I decided, as you will see in the book, in the introduction of the book, to break the book up into two different parts. Yeah. So my next book is going to be about hip-hop artists as well, but it's going to have pictures of us. Okay. It's going to have detailed stories. It's going to have more about their music, more about the history, and I might incorporate a section of other artists that I've met, because being in the business for 35 years, I have met almost everybody. Yeah. From Taylor Smith to, my goodness, Taylor Smith, gosh, I'm drawing a blank right now. It's just like so many people, Taylor Smith and Miley Cyrus and Dolly Parton, just a plethora of people from all different genres. And so I may incorporate some of that as well. Okay. Yeah.
So can we get a sneak peek? Like, what was like one of your favorite moments?
One of my favorite moments.
Meeting an artist.
Oh, my God. Well, it would have been Snoop Dogg, honestly. Mm-hmm. I just loved meeting him.
Because he's so cool.
He's so cool. I was at the desk. I'm working. I look up and I see somebody walk in and I see shoulders going like this. I'm like, oh, my God. That's Snoop D-O-double-G. I'm like, oh, my goodness. That was awesome. And I would say that DMX. Okay. I love DMX. Yeah. I love Fat Joe. I love the Baby. I love 2 Chainz. It's just a plethora of people. I love Rick Ross. I met Mary J. Blige. And I'm looking at all the pictures here to help me too. I met Jay-Z. I met Cardi B. It was just awesome, And so that was, I met Pop Smoke.
I was with you when you met him.
I was, yes. Yeah. And were you with me when I put lipstick on it?
And he was,
no way.
Yeah, I
were
remember that whole thing.
When I put, okay,
and he was so very like, it's cool.
He was like, yeah, he was. He said to, okay, so this is what happened. I was on my way. It was after 5 o'clock. DJ Pro Style had just finished interviewing him. I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
So DJ Pro Style brings him to the desk. You were there?
Yeah.
Oh my God, little one. Well, you're always around, little one. And I talk about you in the book too. Yes. How you're always around, Mama. So DJ Pro, he says, Miss Anita, this is Pop Smoke. I'm like, hi, how are you? So I'm just getting ready to go for the day. So I have my fresh lipstick on. Everything is just beautiful. Pop Smoke grabs me and pulls me into him like this. And when he lets me go, there's a perfect, beautiful red lipstick imprint in his $10,000 Louis Vuitton jacket, that he had just been talking about in his interview.
Yeah.
He looked down, he looked at Pro Style, and he said, I'll send you the bill. I'm like, oh my God, and it's so ironic because I had always wondered if he was able to get that saying out of his jacket. And you were the one that came to me and said to me, Mom, Pop Smoke is gone. And I'm like, who? And you said, Mama, remember the guy that you got the lipstick all on? And I was just horrified. Yeah. Horrified. So some of the questions are, have there ever been any deaths of hip hop legends that affected you in a certain way? And if so, how? Another one is, if you could spend the whole day with your favorite hip hop artist, who would it be? And I chose Snoop Dogg. We'd be chilling, laid back, And I also give some of the songs that we would be jamming to. Yeah. Me, him, Boss Lady, and the whole family, And if you could, so it's just a lot of interesting questions. And like I said, in me and my brother answering our questions, we give you a lot of information about hip hop and our experiences.
What do you think is the most important, thing, history-wise, for the young generation to know about hip hop?
Really, in general, it's just knowing who paved the way for you. Okay. That is incredibly important to so that you can have respect for these artists. I mean, I put I talk about DJ Marley Marl. Yeah. He was one of the first DJs to put scratching on a record. You know, I mean, many people have done it, in the parks, but he was one of the first DJs. And I worked with DJ Marley Marl. I love DJ Marley Marl. Ed Lover, who was on Yo MTV Raps, one of the first shows that played videos for rap artists. And you know what I'm saying? And, these are iconic people that I think is very important to know about them. Kumo D did the forward for my book. I was honored to have Kumo D do the forward for my book. Kumo D, my best friend of 60 years, literally 60 years. I met her when I was in kindergarten. I'm going to give my age away now. Don't start doing the math, okay, because I'm 35. And so he was a good friend of my best friend's younger brother, and his name is Dano. So Dano was the DJ for Kumo D when it was Kumo D and the Treacherous Three. So as a young girl, me going over to visit my friend Sanaa, he was there. And of course, I mean, he was just a young guy. Whoever knew he would grow up to be the legendary Kumo D, And then on top of that, my brother, DJ Scipio, went to school with him.
Oh, wow.
So when it was time to write the book, he was the first person that I thought of to do this book, to do a forward for this book.
Your brother introduced you to hip hop?
My brother did introduce me to hip hop. Okay. Yeah. So it was around 1977, and we share a wall between our bedrooms. Mm-hmm. So there was this song, Good Times, we are the good times. And so I love that song. But then one day I'm listening to him play, this song, and he's going, good times. And I'm like, what is going on? Over and over and over. Good times. And me and my mother's like, oh my God, what's going on? It's driving me crazy. I'm in my bedroom trying to watch Happy Days, trying to watch Sanford and Son, Good Times, and all I get good. So I said, what is that? I said, why are you doing that? He said, well, it's called scratching. I said, scratching? I said, oh my God, it's so annoying, you know?
That was your first thought.
Yeah, so annoyed. Here's my great song that I love, and he's back there, good, you know? So that was my first introduction to hip hop.
So when did you fall in love with hip hop then?
I fell in love with hip hop when I started hearing artists like Salt and Pepper, like Run DMC, like Kool Moe Dee, and Eric B. and Rakim, LL Cool J, you know. I mean, and then of course, you know, DMX later on, you know, in the years. But I mean, I just love the way it makes me want to dance and have fun. Yeah. And again, like I said, there's the real life things about hip hop, like that you get from the political side of hip hop. Yeah. And those artists, you know, I'm trying to think. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. But it's very political with not Dr. Dre. Well, hopefully we can edit this part out. But I'm drawing a blank right now. But it's just so many artists that bring out so many emotions and aspects of hip hop. So oh,
you got it.
Hey, I'm an old head, okay? Y'all got to work with me, you know?
So what would you change about hip-hop?
Public Enemy.
Oh, okay. Public Enemy. Okay,
yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
You know, and KRS-One, you know, they used to spit knowledge, you know, and very different from some of the music that we hear today.
So that's what I was going to ask. What would you change in hip-hop today? Do you think there's also a difference between rap and hip-hop?
Yeah, I think rap is the music and hip hop is the culture. Yeah, that's my understanding of it. And so the hip hop culture would include, you know, fashion and breakdancing, you know, and so much more. But rap itself is the music, you know. So yeah, that's the difference to me.
Okay, but what would you change in hip hop today?
Well, there's one of the questions is, was there any music that I felt had a negative impact on hip hop? First, I wasn't going to answer it because I didn't want to try to alienate anybody. But then I said I have to be true to myself. Charlemagne did a book, and I think it's called "Why Small Talk Sucks." I think. No, Get Honest or Die Lying. Yep. And it's Why Small Talk Sucks. Yeah. So there was initially some questions that I didn't want to answer because I didn't want to offend anybody. Yeah. After reading his book, I said, wait a minute, I'm going to have to just be honest, put my journey out there, and just let it be what it is. So I went back, and where I had said no comment, I said drill music. Okay. Because, and not all drill music. I don't like the drill music that talks about the dead. Yeah. I do not like that. Disrespecting the dead. I do not like that. I don't like music that challenges your ops to, you know, or I just don't care for that type of stuff. That's a whole different level that I don't care for. Okay. Even though there are some drill artists who have done songs that don't always express those type of sentiments. So I don't want to say all drill music is bad. Yeah. You know, I don't want to say that. Or any type of hip hop music is good. I don't want to say that. You know,
I get that. Mm-hmm. I was gonna say or explain also why you're not necessarily a rapper or a DJ or anything like that, but you have the experience and understanding of what hip hop is.
Well, I do because I was around it. Right. These people, these icons, these legends would walk into the door like there was hardly a day that I did not meet a hip-hop legend coming to Power 105.1. And you know that because you were there with me most of the time. I got to meet them. I got to hug them. I got to have a relationship with them. I got to talk about their kids. They showed me picture of their children. Right. They let me into their personal life. Most of them called me mama.
Yeah.
Like I said, DMX called me auntie. Young M.A., she was awesome. I mean, Mary J. Blige, she's hip hop and R&B.
Yeah.
Awesome. Just loving. Mary J. Blige stood at my desk. My niece, I have a niece named Shirley, and at the time she was going through a serious health crisis. Mary J. Blige, I said, knowing that she's so spiritual, I said, Mary, would you please say a prayer for my niece Shirley? And she said, sure. Mary started giving the most wonderful prayer. It just sent shivers through me. And meanwhile, her label reps are saying, Mary, we got to go, because she had a plane to catch. But Mary would not leave until she finished that prayer.
That's beautiful.
And it was just awesome, you know, and I really appreciate it. The only problem is I didn't have the vocals up. So when I looked at the video, it was just Mary J. going, you know,
no.
Yeah, that broke my heart. So Mary J., if you hear this, I want you to know I thank you anyway, just knowing that you took the time. You cared enough to take the time to say a prayer for a stranger.
Yeah.
And these artists don't know what they can do for a person. Just their smile, just their love. People look up to them. Yeah, they're only human. They make mistakes like anybody else.
Yeah.
I try not to idolize them, even though sometimes I do.
Yeah.
Because I don't think people can say, though, they're just like everybody else. They're not just like everybody else. I mean, they went through the fire, you know, to be who they are, to overcome all the obstacles. Anything that you want to do in life, there's a price to pay. They were willing to pay that price. Yeah. So I have to honor them. And by the way, and I hope you're happy to hear this, I do love Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
I do love him. Okay.
I don't understand.
I only got to know him more. I always knew him through you. But I also got to know him more, of course, recently with everything that's going on. And his 5 Grammys. Congratulations to him. And so I'm blessed, you know, blessed. I mean, the baby came in here recently and he asked about me. And, you know, when he didn't see me, he threw a little tantrum. And so when he got outside, he had his label rep, Sherry, do a video. And he did a FaceTime with me. I'm like, oh my God. He was like, I missed you. I'm like, oh, I missed you too. He said, when you weren't here, I was stomping my feet, you know. And it's just love like that.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg, when his mom had passed away, he came in and you led him to the front desk because he was looking for me.
Yeah.
And he did a video and he said, hello, mother. He said, I wanted one of your hugs, but you're not here today. Yeah. So I'm going to send you a virtual hug. I mean, Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Hello, mother. He was looking for that comfort. He was looking for, because I embraced them with love, with no expectation of anything.
Yeah.
And that's the relationship I have with them. So it's a working relationship with hip hop. Yeah. It's not just what I read in the books. I experienced the love, the respect of these people. Rick Ross sent 6 cases. Twice. He sent 6 cases of Bel Air to iHeart, and then he sent 6 cases to my job. Yeah. I mean, to my home. And everybody wanted to be my friend. Everybody, my nieces and nephews, you know, oh, hi, Auntie, how you doing? Yeah, you know, have a little extra bottle of Bel Air, you know. I mean, just wonderful, wonderful things. Neo's not a hip-hop artist, but he's written for hip-hop artists. And I had to include Neo because Neo's my darling. He made sure I had flowers on Valentine's Day. Neo would always just show so much love for me. And in the book, I say, Neo, I made you a rapper just so I could include you in my book, you know. And I mean, just, you know, French Montana, just, gosh, I mean, it's just been an awesome, awesome experience. Fat Joe, I love Fat Joe. I love 50 Cent, you know, 50 Cent. 50 Cent, he came by and I wanted to have a picture with him. He said, I'm sorry. I think he said, sweetheart. He said, next time. He said, I'm in a rush. And I was a little disappointed only because I didn't know if he came back, if he would remember, or if I'd even see him again. And sure enough, when he came back, he did not forget to give me that picture. And I am just so honored. And I just loved him because there are a lot of people in the business. They're busy, they're doing things. Some are real, some really love people. Some, they have their attitudes or they have their ways.
Mama, I check them.
Yeah, and you will check them in a heartbeat. Like you say, you don't play about Mama. You had to check a couple of people for me, okay? Who will remain nameless, but you had to check a couple of people, and yeah, and so it's just a beautiful thing, You just accept people on their terms. The wonderful thing about being a receptionist for so long and meeting all of these artists, there's some artists I met the first time and they were awesome.
Yeah.
Sometimes I may have met them again a third time and they were okay, or they weren't quite as friendly, or they were just downright, not friendly at all.
Yeah.
And then there's some who were not friendly in the beginning and then just grew, or the next time I saw them, they were awesome. So when you meet somebody for the first and only time, you only have that one impression of them.
Yeah.
I was blessed enough to see all sides of these artists over and over again. What an amazing blessing. I'm so grateful to iHeartMedia, so grateful to Power 105.
Yeah.
I love every single station that I worked with. I was the receptionist for 6 other stations. I love them all. And I'm retired now, almost 5 years. I came back, I think it was almost 3 years ago. Was that 3 years ago, I think?
Yeah.
During the pandemic, Thea Mitchum and Bernie Weiss, the president of, I think I don't remember his title right now, but I think he's even above the president. But he and Thea invited me back because they said after the pandemic, when people were coming in, they wanted a friendly face for people to see. So imagine the shock of people seeing me sitting up there at the desk. Everybody had their mask on, and all I could see were their eyes. Just the biggest eyes, like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, it's me, Mama's back, And we hugged and we kissed, and it felt like old times again. Right. And during that time, I got to meet some of the younger artists. I met Tootsie. I met Glorilla.
I love Glorilla.
I met, was it Lotto? I met Lotto. And
Dolce, I think.
Who was that?
Dolce.
Yeah, I met Dolce. And there's somebody else that I met that I really loved. But he'll come back to me. He was just very, very sweet. Not necessarily a hip-hop artist, but a young artist that's been in the business for a while. So yeah, I've just been so blessed, so blessed,
So what do you want readers to take away from just your experience?
I just want people to take away from my experience how much I love hip hop. Okay. And to be able to go back to a time and place where hip hop meant so much to them and still means to them. Yeah. And to be aware of the history, to respect the history, and then for, people of my generation to learn about the new artists, because everybody brings something to hip hop. Yep. Everybody, I love the diversity of hip hop. I love that as well. You know, there's room for everybody in hip hop, but it's just important to respect and honor the foundation of hip hop, the origins of hip hop, and the people who put it on the planet. Right. And everybody be real and honest about their contribution to the genre. Whatever credit that you take, let it be credit for something that you actually did, or true and honest to hip hop. Okay. No more and no less. Gotcha. That's what we need. And that's why documenting your journeys going to help that a lot. For old heads like me who are forgetting things, and for the young people who want to see their story in writing.
Yeah. And music's important.
Music is important. It is.
So can you tell everybody where you can purchase the book?
You can get Hip Hop Time Capsule, Document Your Personal Journey on Amazon. It's available now, and it's doing very well, but I hope everybody will take the time and pick up a copy, and I hope you have an awesome time. And if you would please leave a review. That would be wonderful. I have a website that we're working on right now. It's going to be www.teamscipio.com. Okay. Give me about another week. If you have any questions, you'll be able to go on that website and get more information. But the book is on Amazon, and I hope you enjoy it and have a ball.
Now, before we close out, I have one more question. Can you tell me what artist you would include on our iHeartRadio station?
What artists I would include on iHeartRadio station? Mm-hmm. Okay, I feel that there are some artists that would be considered old school that transition well into new school. Okay. So if I had to do some planning today, it would definitely be Snoop Dogg. Mm-hmm. It would be, we're going to have to, okay. We're going to come back to that. Yes, we're going to fill that in.
Kendrick Lamar, always. Yeah. But maybe like from the old school, who would you like? Would you think MC? Would MC Hammer be good?
Oh my God, MC Hammer is timeless. Okay, MC Hammer is timeless. 50 years from now, he'll still be relevant. Okay. He is truly, truly one of a kind. Yeah. Snoop Dogg will always have play. LL Cool J can get up and perform right now like he did 30 years ago. Yeah. Eminem, timeless, amazing. Mm-hmm. You know?
I wonder if Dougie Fresh could come back and like with his skill, that could be like a popular thing.
Oh man, beatboxing. There's nobody like him. Absolutely nobody like him. I mean, there are a couple of other artists that did well, but nobody like him. And he still looks so good. He looks so good. It's like when he was at the Yankee Stadium performance. I mean, I could have looked at videos from him over 30 years ago, and to me, he would have looked the same.
No, he really does.
Oh my God, I love.
But this is for your iHeart station.
For my iHeart station. Yeah, it would have to be Dougie Fresh would be on the playlist. Snoop Dogg would be on the playlist.
Pop
Smoke would be on the playlist, of course. Oh, so Alive or Gone? DMX, Tupac, Da Baby, and 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz. I love 2 Chainz.
Any specific song? The song. What was the song you said? Good?
I'm different.
No. What's the song that you heard first when you were introduced to hip hop? You have that song.
Oh, Good Times.
Yeah.
Well, it's a disco song, but hip hop took different aspects of all types of music, right? Okay. Jazz and funk, disco, and they took the best parts of those musics and made their own thing. Okay. You know, like James Brown, who is a funk artist, number one in the business. Yeah. James Brown, soul and funk artist. His break beats were used in the early days of hip hop. For almost all of the hip hop songs is called sampling. When you take a part of a certain music, well, you know that. I'm just saying it for some of you young folks who might not know. Take a certain part of the music and use it for the break, and then they elongated the break, and that's when everybody would be getting down, and break dancing, and I mean, just awesome. And I give a shout out to DJ Kool Herc, for having that very, very historic and important party. Okay. And I also show the postcard, the flyer in the book for that very first hip hop party that was recognized. I don't know that was the first hip hop party, but the first hip hop party that was put on the map. And give a shout out to DJ Kool Herc for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, this was a lovely interview.
It was wonderful, sweetheart.
I'm glad I was able to interview and talk about your book.
And you were good too, sweetheart. Yeah.
Now, tell them again where they can find it.
You can find it on Amazon. That's where it's at right now. I'm hoping to broaden it to other outlets, but at this time, it's only on Amazon. And I hope you'll go and pick up your copy and begin your hip-hop journey.
Yes, and this was Building Black Business Podcast. I'm Taylor Hayes, and we are with...
I'm Anita Scipio.
Mama for short.
Oh, yes.